This is a very brief introduction to Audacity, which is audio editing software. It primarily can be used to create WAV or MP3 files that can be used for just almost like podcasts to anything that could be incorporated into something like Movie Maker or a movie file. You could create a kind of a voiceover. You could also pull together multiple audio files or take a file and cut a piece out of it. So you got lots of different ways you can do it. This is just going to be a quick overview of what it can do. Please note that this is Audacity is free. It's a free download from SourceForge. If you just do a search for AUDACITY, you can find it. Be careful of downloading spamware as part of the packages. Sometimes the places to distribute Audacity want you to put their little advertising and marketing gimmicks onto your computer to quote unquote offer you better deals. So across the top, it's got the kind of classic 1970s, 1980s tape recorder, CD player type of thing. Pause, play, stop, we got back to the beginning, to the end, and record. So please note the one thing that gets a little dicey with Audacity is sometimes it talks about input being an issue. In this case, I have Microsoft Sound Manager and speakers for the output, and the input is an internal microphone. You may also have to go into Edit and Preferences and change where it's coming from, and that's devices, and you can see that here. Please also note recording, you could also record over. One of the best ways to record for Audacity is to use earphones, which separates the sound coming out of the computer from the sound going into the computer. That way you don't have that kind of reverberation. Okay, so here we go. Here's a quick example. This is just a silly example. So first off, I'm going to pull in a music file. And in this case, it's Corbin Blues Celebrate You. We opened it up. Now I'm going to record over it. Please note that this is a track. And the track, I have the ability to change the level of the track left and right, and also top, how loud it is and how non-loud it is. So if I just play it now, there it is. And it's fine. If I want to make it super loud, I take it down much lower decibel rating. We're going to keep it at lower decibel. I hit stop in order to record. If you don't stop, if you pause, the record will not work. All right, next up, I'm going to start recording as Corbin Blues singing, and that's all lovely. So here I am here on track 2. Now, I'm going to record again. This time, I'm going to wait a few seconds. Yeah, and now track 2 is over, and now track 3 is starting, and you can actually see the graph of that coming through. And you see the levels and everything going on up here at the top. So, if we go back to the beginning and hit play, and you can see the decibels is a little bit higher on that. Now, so basically what I've done is I've laid 3 tracks. I could keep on laying tracks all day long. I don't even know if there's a limit to how many tracks you can have. At a certain point, it might get a little dicey because your computer can't handle all of the information and data. So at this point, I've recorded a quote-unquote podcast. I mean, basically, I pulled in 3 files together is what I have. Here's the trick. Right now, Audacity is looking at 3 different assets. The track 1 is an asset that is an actual music file. Track 2 was recorded, and track 3 was recorded, but none of them all together are part of a single file. That's where we have to compress it together into a single file and export. If we do an export here, it actually has it as a WAV file automatically. I can also change it to an MP3 here. Whoops, MP3 here, and we're going to call it a testing file. Hit save. At this point, I can change it. Right now, it has Corbin Blue because that's the only track that they had, and testing. And I can put other information in there if I want. And then once I'm done, I hit OK, and it's going to put everything together. And one thing we need to do is download the DLL, which is the download leak library. And since I don't have enough time to do that to show you, there's actually a download button. You go and find the DLL, and it allows you to do MP3s. If this is a nuisance to you, you don't want to deal with it, just save it as a WAV file, and it works okay. MP3 is the most universally accepted and probably the easiest to use wherever you do it. But think about the quick MP3 creations you can do once you get that DLL down, and you can actually very easily communicate whatever your ideas are and post them into a location. All right, thanks.